So yesterday, in our class, we did the beginning and middle of the story. A house is not a home, and we read that there was a teenager boy who had been admitted to in a new school, and he was not able to adjust himself in new environment, and something more to his misery added. And what was that? One day when he was doing his homework, his house started burning, and then firemen came over there and they were trying to put out the fire. And now the third thing which added more sorrow to his current situation was that after the burning, or after his house, or means when his house was turned into ashes, he realized that he was not even able to see his cat around. So now he realized that his new school, as you can see in the paragraph which is visible on the screen, 5 hours later, this paragraph we did yesterday. So just focus on the last line of it, that I was suffering loss, a big time loss. And which kind of losses he was having, we have already read about it. First, new school. Second, the fire. Third, my cat. So I broke in tears and cried, and I was suffering loss big time. Now, the fireman men wouldn't let us go back into the house that night. It was still too dangerous. Dead or alive, I couldn't imagine leaving without knowing about my cat. Now, obviously, firemen didn't allow them to go into the house. Means of the obviously it was, all the burnt part all around, and still it was dangerous because there could be ashes, there could be coil, which was still hot, and which could result in some more incidents which could lead to the hurting of which could harm actually the people, whoever will enter in the house. Now the next Monday morning, but what happened, he wanted to go from that place after knowing about his cat. Regardless, I had to go. Still, I had to go. I couldn't do anything. We piled into the car with just the clothes on our backs and a few of the firemen's blankets, and made our way to my grandparents' house to spend the night. Now we were left with no option, so we piled in the car. Means piled means to make a heap of, to put together something. So we made a pile of clothes there, and we had a few blankets which were given to us by firemen, and then we went to our grandparents' house to spend the night. Now, the next day, Monday, I went to school. When the fire broke out, I was still wearing the dress I had worn to church that morning, but I had no shoes. Obviously, whatever clothes he was wearing, he had to adjust with them, because he had less options. And now the other thing was that he had no shoes. I had kicked them off when I was doing my homework. He was not having the shoes which he used to wear for school, because he was not putting them on when he was doing his homework. They became yet another casualty of the fire. Casualty means actually when some calamity is there, when some disaster is there, the people who die, they also uh, you know are called that casualties. How many casualties are there? So the thing which is destroyed, the thing which is lost, that is also a casualty. So another casualty for me was the loss of my shoes. So another thing which I lost in the fire was my shoes. So I had to borrow some tennis shoes from my aunt. Why couldn't I just stay home from school? My mother wouldn't hear of it, but I was totally embarrassed by everything. I was feeling ashamed of everything. The clothes I was wearing looked weird. Means the clothes which I was wearing were not meant were not supposed to be worn while going to school. So they looked strange on me. I had my life in the backpack in that backpack. The more I tried to fit in, the worse it got. Actually, what happened? I was wearing the clothes which looked weird. I had no books or homework, and my backpack was gone because it was no more with me. I had my life in the backpack. The more I tried to fit in, so I was trying to fit in the life that was there in the backpack, and the worse it got. Means the more I was trying to fit in my life, the more bad things were happening to me. Was I destined to be an outcast and a geek all my life? Now, actually, these kinds of questions are coming in his mind because he is totally depressed. Nothing good is happening in his life, and he thinks that destined means, is it this thing in my destiny that I can never be happy? Outcast means to cast out, means as you say, odd person which cannot fit among others. So and am I supposed to be outcast always, means to cast away always? And do I have to live the life of a geek? And geek is a person, actually, sometimes geek is used to bully somebody. And actually, the geek is the person who is supposed to actually उसको बोलते क्या है, that it's a carnival performer. So but in this case, when you call somebody geek, you are not giving that person a good remark, right? So he thinks that am I supposed to be always cast out, means odd out of everything, means out of the box? Do I have to look out of the box thing always? That's what I felt. It felt like I didn't want to grow up. Now I didn't want to get grow up in the life, change, or have to handle life. It was going to be this way. I didn't want to live my life. If my whole life is going to be like this all the time, I just want to curl up, means to squeeze or to, shrink and then die. Means I don't want to come out and meet people and live my life. I just want to curl up. I just want to stay, I just want to coil myself to make myself more, shrinked. And I walked around school like zombie. So I was moving in the school as if I was just a body with no life. Everything felt sure, but I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And obviously this was a big loss for a child, that he lost his home. And everything felt like surreal. Surreal means like a dream, as if I was not present there. I was like zombie, and everything seemed to be like a dream, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I really didn't know what will happen to me next. All the security I had known from my old school, my friends, my house, and my cat had all been ripped away, means taken away. So I didn't feel secure from any point of view. Now, when I walked through what used to be my house after school that day, I was shocked to see how much damage there was. And when I was passing by my house, which used to be there, right? And now it was totally burnt. I was shocked to see how much damage the fire had done. Whatever hadn't burned was destroyed by water and chemicals they had used to put out the fire. And the things, if they were saved, means they escape from the destruction of fire. They were spoiled due to water which was used by firemen, and also chemicals which they used. The only material things not destroyed were the photo frames, documents, and some other personal items that my mother had managed to heroically rescue. Only the things which my mother, like a hero, saved, only those things were there with us. But my cat was gone, and my heart ached for her, means pained for her. My heart was really sad, and I was missing my cat. There was no time to grieve. Grieve means to show sorrow, to feel sorrow, to feel that sadness. We didn't have any time to feel sad. My mother rushed me out of the house. We would have to find a place to live, and I would have to go buy some clothes for school. We were so busy, we had to look for a new house, and then I also needed some clothes so that I can go to school. Then obviously there was the bad need of getting new house and getting clothes for school. We had to borrow money from my grandparents because there were no credit cards. Means all the cards which were with us, and we didn't have cash, even any identification, that I cards and all, to be able to withdraw money from the bank. Everything had gone up in the smoke. That week, the ruble that used to be our house, rubble, sorry. That week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. Now, what is the meaning of rubble? So, rubble is that all part which is left after destruction. You can say all those pieces of, uh, you know, rock or wood, means whatever mass or whatever things are left, actually it's destructive. It's the part, or it's the material which is left after destruction. You can compare it with garbage also, the remains of the burnt things. So all that rubble was cleared off. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, I would go over to watch them clear away debris. Now, debris is also same thing. Rubble and debris is used as synonyms here, because rubble and debris both have same meaning. You can say that is scattered remains of something destroyed. Scattered remains of something destroyed, that is called rubble, that is called debris, what is left after destruction. So I would go over to watch them clear away debris, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. She was gone. I always had a hope that below the debris, or maybe behind that debris, my cat would be hiding herself, and maybe I would be able to find her. But but I was having another hope that maybe my cat was somewhere to be found, but she was gone. I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. Now I was missing my cat so much, and it was a small kitten. And vulnerable means, most likely to be exposed to a chance of being attacked or harmed, because that was the human beings actually can speak about their problem. They can save themselves. They are that much able to save themselves. But cat was vulnerable. She was not able to save herself. Already author has mentioned that I had given her this life, and I have rescued her from some problem, And now again she was in problem, and she was quite innocent kitten who could not save herself from this disaster. That's why I was, very much worried about her. In the early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along after me, climb up my robe, crawl into my pocket to fall asleep. I was missing her terribly. I was missing activities of my cat, and I remember that early morning when I would disturb her, means while she was sleeping, she used to sleep. I used to disturb her and get it out of its bed. What would she do? She would tag along after me, means she would follow me and climb up my robe. Robe is that a kind of long coat or a dress which is long one, and she would climb up my robe, crawl into my pocket. Then she would crawl and enter in my pocket and sleep there, because it was a small cat, she could sleep in my pocket. I was missing her very badly. It always seems that bad news spread quickly. Now, such kind of things are spread in the public, in the people so quickly. And in my case, it was no different. Everyone in high school, including the teachers, was aware of my plight. Plight means my grief, the reason of my sorrow. So everybody knew about my sorrow, about my grief. I was embarrassed as if somehow I were responsible. And I was feeling so ashamed as if I had done something wrong. What a way to start off at a new school. See how brilliant it was, how beautiful it was to start a new school. This is my destiny. I was cursing myself actually. This was not the kind of attention. Obviously, I wanted attention from other people, but this kind of attention, that people have pity on me, means I didn't want such kind of attention from them. The next day at school, people were acting even more strange than usual. I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were milling around me. People were, they were walking around me, and they were behaving in a strange manner. And I was surprised that, like, what is happening to these people? They were moving around me only, asking me to hurry up. And the children were asking me, the people were asking me to get ready immediately. People were milling around me asking me to hurry up. I thought it strange, but in the light of past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. I felt a little surprised, but not much, because I had got many surprises. It almost seemed that they were trying to shove me into gym, and I felt like that they were, trying to send me in gym quickly. Means they were trying to push me. Shove means push. They were pushing me into gym. Then I saw why. Now, when I entered in the gym, I came to know why they were forcing me a lot. There was a big table set up with all kind of stuff means material on it, just for me. They had taken up a collection and brought me school supplies, and the table was full of all the things which I needed. School supplies means all the things which you need when you go to school: notebooks, all kinds of different clothes, jeans, tops, sweatsuits. It was like Christmas. I was overcome by emotion, means I became emotional. People who had never spoken to me before were coming up to me to introduce themselves. Now everybody came to me and started introducing, telling their names, and telling about themselves. So everybody was introducing themselves, himself or herself, to me. I got all kinds of invitations to their houses. They were inviting me to come to their house. Their genuine outpouring means expressing. Genuine means original. which is not fake. Their genuine expression of concern means expression of their worries about me really touched me, and it really made me feel emotional. In that instant, I finally breathed a sigh of relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay. Now, finally, I felt a sigh of relief means I felt relaxed. And for the first time, I had the thought that things are going to be okay because I have got friends. Okay, now a month later, I was at my house watching them rebuild it. Now my house was being rebuilt. But this time it was different. I wasn't alone. Now I started feeling good. I was with two of my new friends from school. I was looking at my house, it was being rebuilt. And I was with my two friends. It took a fire for me to stop focusing on my feelings of insecurity and open up to all the wonderful people around me. The fire on my house, on my home, had made me open up to wonderful around me, and I lost my feeling of I got rid of actually I got rid of my feeling of insecurity. Now I was sitting there watching my house being rebuilt when I realized my life was going the same thing. While we sat there on a curb planning my new bedroom, I heard someone walk up to me from behind and say, "What? Does this belong to you?" Now, when we were sitting at the edge of the road, curb means at the edge of the road, where you find a place where raised thing, a kind of not bench actually, some part which is made beside the road to sit. So when I was sitting at the edge of the road, means on that place, and planning for my bedroom, then suddenly somebody came from behind and said that, "Does it belong to you? Is it yours?" When I turned around to see who it was, I couldn't believe my eyes. A woman was standing there holding my cat. I leapt up, means I jumped up and grabbed her, and you know, almost snatched, almost pull out from the grip of the lady that cat. I took it from the woman's arm. I held her. Now you can see in the picture reunion of author with his cat. So that woman came there and asked him that, "Is it yours?" And finally he found his cat also close to me and cried into that beautiful orange fur. She purred happily. My friends were hugging me, hugging the cat, jumping around. Apparently means clearly visible. Apparently, my cat had been so freaked by the fire, means she was so afraid by the fire, that she ran over a mile away. This actually happened when there was fire on my house. My cat ran away from there. Her collar had our phone number on it. You know that strap which is worn by the animals which are pet, means their owners use it so that if they are lost, the people, if somebody would find them, they can return it back. So on the collar, there was a phone number of ours, but our phones had been destroyed, disconnected due to fire. This wonderful woman took her in. She took her in her house and worked how to find out whose cat it was. Somehow she knew this cat was loved and sorely, means badly missed. As I sat there with my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, means she was there in my lap, and all the overwhelming, means overflowing feelings of loss, tragedy seemed to diminish. Diminish means vanish, become invisible. I felt gratitude. Gratitude means thankful. Now I started feeling thankful for my life, for my new friends, and the kindness of a stranger, and the loud purr of my beloved cat. And my cat was back, so was I. My cat was back, and I was also back in the life. So my life was complete now, and I was feeling so happy. So all ends, very nicely in the life of author, and he would live a happy life after that.